For years, we have all thought that Bronny was next in line for the James throne. He holds the LeBron James Jr. name. He is the firstborn. He's an elite college basketball player, but he's not next in line. Bryce James is the true heir to LeBron's throne. You see, this has been LeBron's master plan the entire time. He has said many times that his biggest goal in the NBA is to play alongside his son.
What do you need to do in your career before you can have it all? I need to be on the floor with my boy.
We all assumed that this was Bronny. And with the talent level that Bronny has been playing with so far, there is a chance that this actually happens. But the true desire that is something only LeBron knows lies with Bryce. And to understand this, we need to look at where it all started. Bryce Maximus James, he joined the family June 14th, 2007. At this time, LeBron was on the Cavs and was fighting in his first ever NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs. Bron had averaged 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 6.8 assists during the series, but unfortunately was swept by the Spurs. Now, it wasn't all bad because immediately the day after Game 4, Bryce was born. This era of basketball was the beginning of LeBron's domination. Out of the next 6 seasons after Bryce's birth, LeBron won 4 MVPs and his first ring. Bryce and Bronny, they got to grow up alongside this greatness. They were born into a world of elite basketball, surrounded by the best players in the world. I mean, Bryce's godfather is Chris Paul, but all of that put an immense amount of pressure on these two from a very, very young age. They are the golden boys, specifically Bronny being the oldest. He is the one that is supposed to continue the greatness. Neither LeBron nor Savannah could shield Bronny from the spotlight. He is LeBron James Jr. He has to be great, but they have been able to shield his second child. The pressure, it's all on Bronny. Yeah, Bryce has more pressure than you and I do to be great at basketball, but to keep the LeBron James name alive and well, that rides on the back of the oldest son. Now, to understand why this is important for Bryce, you must understand the significance of the pressure Bronny faces, and right now is seemingly able to conquer. As a rising high school basketball talent, LeBron James, he graced the covers of all the magazines and newspapers. It was the American dream writ at large, a life moving from poverty to prosperity. Those covers, they contained promises that LeBron has since fulfilled over his time in Cleveland, Miami, and LA. But with this success built pressure on his future, that future being his kids. And Bronny, he's finding that out now, especially when it comes to following his father's footsteps and becoming an NBA player. While he most certainly will not end up being one of the all-time greats like his dad, he's already earned his fair share of his own accolades, something the sons of other legends like Michael Jordan have never been able to achieve. He'd be the second best shooter on the current Lakers roster right now, wrote NBA analyst and former LeBron teammate Richard Jefferson. This was in response to a highlight reel of Bronny as a teenager, dropping 31 points in his senior season debut for Sierra Canyon. And it's not just Jefferson. Plenty of stars have had their eyes on these kids and show it. Love watching him play, tweeted NBA veteran and analyst Jamal Crawford. Sheesh, tweeted Steph Curry, sharing a big boy dunk from Bronny this summer. Now, this isn't uncommon. In the NBA and college basketball, there have been many sons that have had to walk the path that Bronny is about to embark on. Steph and Seth Curry's father, Del Curry, was a standout, though not a star. Then there's Klay Thompson, Larry Nance Jr., Jalen Brunson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Gary Payton II, Austin Rivers, Ron Harper Jr., Shareef O'Neal, Scottie Pippen Jr., James McAdoo, Jeremy Grant, Cole Anthony, and really the list just goes on. All these dudes, they come from former NBA contributors. But the son of maybe the best to ever do it? That's perhaps a different story. Since Bronny was a young kid, every major media outlet has been at every game. Every major streamer and influencer, big musicians, they all want to hang out with him. Everyone wants a piece. As a teenager, even just that is difficult. But Bronny, he's been able to handle it so far. There's never been a big dramatic story circling his name. He's stayed out of trouble outside of a few, like regular child things. And he has been able to capitalize on his name so far and even making his own. So knowing all of this, everything that Bronny's done and accomplished, it's time to look at Bryce. Being nearly 3 years younger than Bronny, Bryce has been attending all of his brother's games. He's a supportive brother. During these times, he's made a point to study the players around him. His teams, he's surrounded himself with some of the best players in the country at his age. He's been indirectly introduced to the cameras and the drama at a young age. This has all helped craft Bryce and prepared him from a mental standpoint. But his physical growth might be what's even more intriguing. As a middle schooler in 2020, Bryce stood at just 5'4". Because of his inability to rely on his athleticism at that time, you can tell Bryce placed a heavy emphasis on his fundamentals. Since his first AAU tournaments, Bryce has had an elite ability to shoot the basketball, both off the pass and off the dribble. He's really modeled his game kind of around how Steph Curry plays, creating his own shots, and even wore number 30 for a few years, which is funny because that was his dad's rival for so long. Now, outside of his shot, he also worked to develop a run runner and a floater to beat the tall defenders, which he still uses today. LeBron himself even said that Bryce is the best shooter in the family.
Shawty gon' check that, bang that, drop that, hit that, pack that, kick that, send that, flip that. Hey, hey.
And now, after just 3 years, Bryce has grown over a foot. This growth spurt shot him up to 6'6". For perspective, LeBron also stood at 6'6" when he was 16. Bronny, he currently stands at 6'2" as an 18-year-old. From being an undersized 14-year-old who focused on fundamentals and his jump shot, to now being a 6'6" athletic freak, a lot has changed in a short period of time. With that being said, it's interesting to see who Bryce has become now as a player. For starters, Bryce has never lost that shooting touch, even after his wild growth spurt. He's got a naturally soft and compact release, and he's got the ability to make both threes and pull-up jumpers. His left hand is very advanced for his age, and he's got a good early understanding of the game, which is what makes Bronny so elite. My favorite part is that he's shown his scoring ability at all 3 levels. He has a much improved dribble drive game. He's also got a very strong frame and should continue to add a few more inches to his height over the next few years. Now, on top of his basic abilities here, Bryce has showed off some crazy athleticism. Those James jeans, they're kicking in. On multiple occasions, he's risen up for a putback slam or a backboard rejection just like his dad. Looking at the tape of his most recent outing, Bryce looks like he's on another level this year. At his most recent game at the time of this recording, he balled out on USC's home floor in front of LeBron and his sister Zuri. Watching this tape, it's easy. You can quickly see his ability to easily knock down threes. I mean, he started off the game with 3 in a row, all from nearly the same spot. He gets to his and he gets his buckets. He's also starting to figure out that he's just way bigger than everybody and can easily finish around the rim. He's putting up some tough buckets. In his next few games of last weekend, Bryce continued his dominance from outside the arc and showed that he's an elite scorer at every level. And this Sierra Canyon team around him is stacked. It includes another NBA legend's son, Justin Pippen, 4-star forward Isaiah Elohim, 3-star small forward Bryce Cofield, 3-star Noah Williams, and really the list goes on. There's plenty of ranked dudes. I just looked at the top of their roster. On the court with these guys, Bryce passes the eye test. Honestly, sometimes he looks like he might be the best player on the court for this team. He is truly getting better and better each week. And what shocked me the most watching his tape is how easy he gets up in the lane. He's throwing down some great dunks in traffic and is really starting to come into his body. Bryce has obviously had a huge advantage to his competition with the James jeans, but LeBron is also a great dad. He's been there every step of the way to help his kids and to advise them on their basketball needs. Like this clip from when Bryce was a little kid and Bron was giving him advice.
Come sit down real quick. You made 3 of the biggest plays of the game. You want me to tell you what they were? And you get too down on yourself for no reason. You made 3 of the biggest plays of the game. You got the offensive rebound, right? Down 4, you got the offensive rebound, got the tip in, right? And then you had the outlet pass to Owen when he got the and one, and then you made the last swing to him for the game winner. You know what I'm saying? So like if you missing shots or making shots, don't worry about it, kid. You played a hell of a game. You ain't got to worry about making shots or missing shots. All right? Good job.
Now, while Bryce has risen up the rankings as a prospect and developed his game for the better, his high school career has been a little bit rocky. Like his brother Bronny, Bryce attended Sierra Canyon in Los Angeles until he transferred to Campbell Hall for the summertime months. Then on August 10th, James announced that he would be transferring once again to Notre Dame in Sherman Oaks, California. But once more, that only lasted for a few weeks. On November 21st, 2023, he went back to where it all started at Sierra Canyon once again. He actually transferred back to Sierra Canyon because he was immediately eligible to compete there. When he made the move to Notre Dame, James was ruled ineligible for his first half of the season due to the, let me read this, California Interscholastic Federation Southern Section's transfer rules. Since he didn't play in any games for Notre Dame, he was able to pick things right back where he left them off at Sierra Canyon. Bryce spent the majority of his sophomore season on JV and really an up and down season with the Trailblazers. But this year, after his huge growth spurt, he's been a huge contributor. So all of this being said, Bryce is primed to be a star. He has all the tools. One thing that separates the James kids from the rest, and a skill that many pros don't have today, is professionalism. It sounds weird to say a pro isn't professional, but the truth is many aren't. They don't know how to deal with the money, the fame, and attention. Look at Ja Morant, for example. He's had a million problems in his short NBA career, despite how great of a player he actually is. Bryce James will get a chance to witness his brother's path and will firsthand get to see how Bronny navigates this process. He and Bronny, they're very close and supportive of each other. He will have the opportunity to watch and learn and hear each of Bronny's mistakes. This alone will give him the opportunity to separate himself as a pro, not just an athlete. And speaking of the athlete portion, we've already talked about it, but Bryce, he's gonna be an elite player. Bronny, he's also elite, don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying. But the games are different. Bronny is smaller, he's quick, a decent shooter, but an amazing defender who knows the game. He will make a a solid role player in the NBA one day. And that is more than anyone could ever ask for. But Bryce, he is built to take over games. His size, shooting ability, and freak athleticism will set him up for a long career of domination. What will be the determining factor for Bryce James isn't anything physical, but his confidence as a player. He is still young. He is still learning. Not everyone is LeBron as a high schooler. Some kids take much longer to develop. Look at Giannis. He wasn't a star in high school, but he learned the game, worked hard, and had a great attitude about it. We will see what happens with Bronny and Bryce throughout their careers, but I am confident that they will both succeed on the court and off the court in life as well. And if you agree with me, or hey, maybe you think I'm an idiot and you hate LeBron and the James family, you should still subscribe, because I'll be talking all things basketball on this page now. The old All Hail BBall account, that will be for vlogs, for shorts. This page right here will be all things video essay. And this is only the beginning. We have so many more documentaries coming and a ton of fun videos planned. I'm All Hail Cullen, and we'll see you in the next one. By the way, go cop my new shirts. They're right here. Come on now.